I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash. I give double honor to the Apostle Jim Estevo as well. Peace, blessings, peace, blessings, salutation to Yakim and you few Akwaf tuning in, you Israelite followers that are scattered across. This is Shukakara from GMS, Virginia, and pretty much I'm going to go into this deity, so-called God, Eros, which goes into eroticism, romantic or sexual love. I remember a couple years ago, before I broke one of my laptops, I broke my laptop, the screen. It was a website that I had that showed many gods of Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persian and the Medes, the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire, even in this modern day. How majority of things of what's in front of us goes back to something in the past, a deity or God, which people fail to realize. Under this notion, underneath, feeling good, something that sounds good, soothing, since this world is so fucked up, so we, people cleave to things that make them feel good, and, whichever sound good to their ears, they join in, they tune in. One thing which is has been pretty much shoved down our throats is this sexual liberation. And when you look at sexual liberation, it's many deities for that, goddess and goddesses. You got the fertility god, and so forth. Those what I can find those entities, those deities, and bring them forth. But this is on one called Eros. It said it's the Greek word for especially romantic or sexual love. And what first thing what made me think about the first thing what came to my mind was, when you go on these social media platforms, you look at these chicks, what you call it, they biography, whatever, on their headlines. This is what they talk about, romantic, looking for, love and something. Pretty much when the Looney Tunes. What's some old TV shows back in the day that broadcasted this old float in the air type love? Oh my God, I can't live without you, and so forth. It says Freudian psychology, Eros, also referred to in the terms of libido. Libidinal energy of love is the life instinct innate in all humans. It is the desire to create life and favors productivity and construction. Eros battles against Thanatos, what Freud called the destructive death instinct. Eros' love might best be defined as promoting well-being by affirming that which is valuable or beautiful. Eros can also be defined as the longing for wholeness or completeness, and that's what a lot of these women are underneath this notion, because these other chicks. I'm looking for my other half. I'm looking for a man that can bring me completeness and make me whole again, and so forth. There's a lot of like code names, code terms that these women be putting on they social media platform, which and it's all about feelings, because we understand that these women, these fucking Babylonian women on the West, they just run off emotions and feelings. And this is when you really look at these different gods and different deities, which go back to Rome and Greek. the Greek Empire, the Roman and the Greek Empire, you would sit there and see how, all these, these notions and, these little words and terms and that these women, these girls, these Babylonian women be saying, it all goes back to, yeah, Salaki. And it's used to describe fulfillment between man, woman, and man and gods. According to the American philosopher Alan Bloom, in Love and Friendship, the fall of Eros, true Eros have been eroded by the scientific way society has gone about analyzing love. This is seen especially in the work of Sigmund. Let me see. Such scientific observation of Eros, sex, and love have led us away from giving in to true, overwhelming attraction for another and finding true love and whatever. Again, Esau always try to come with this terminology as if he's on another type of level, as if he has the wisdom. At one time, just like King Solomon, many people, nations of people came to hear him speak. Going back, I think Wisdom of Solomon, the 10th chapter, which it goes into how the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was given to him from above of the Heavenly Father, and he had wisdom to pretty much wisdom. He knew about a lot of different things of how things ran. Elements of the water, the trees, the birds, the animals, and so forth, the seasons, different animals and so forth. So people were delighted to hear when King Solomon spoke and how well he had things in order. And the same thing, the same notion that Esau has, when he speaks, he brings forth this, Eros and Thanatos and the gods and Jupiter and so forth. It sounds good, if you don't understand what you're hearing, and and again, if you don't know your foundation, which our foundation is of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, and Yahweh Shah being that rock, our foundation. If you don't have the foundation, anything that's soothing and sounds good, you will be misled by it. So, and that's what Esau pretty much does, because he takes this, he takes these gods and put these terms and the definitions on them. And again, it's all in the scripture talks about that. Brings forth Colossians 2:8. It says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy, in vain deceit after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Shah. And brothers can contest to this, and even you few women, you probably know girls that's right now I can't really think of any posts that chicks be putting on they statuses, whatever. But we all seen it. Just check. When you go, next time bros go on, if they got little platforms they use on social media, whatever, date apps, just check them out and see. Just look at what these bras be putting up there, because it all goes. This. I'm looking for my other half. To feel me, this and that, and these are little feel good quote, whatever that feels good, which stimulating, and that's that's what I think that's the fertility. I can't remember, but let me get on what was that I wanted. Damn, I think Baruch 6. Baruch 6 and let's start at verse 3. But now you shall see in Babylon gods of gold and of silver and of stone and of wood borne upon shoulders, causing fear to the Gentiles. Beware therefore that you imitate not the doings of others, and be afraid, and the fear of them should seize upon you. And the thing about it is, going into what chapter is that? Wisdom of Solomon. How Wisdom of Solomon talks about, it goes heavy into the creation of gods. How different these heathen nations would eventually erect these gods up, paint them, make an image of them, and then they'll put um you know quotes to them that's pretty much all philosophies and traditions of men. So people will adore them and make them. You have Thor. You know, can't think of Greek gods. I just had them up, but pretty much, it's always a story upon them. Just like our story, the Bible is a story of our power, the power of our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And throughout the Bible, it's a history of what our power did for Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans. And it shows that he's the only power. He's the one in control, not these idols and gods has been erected from man's hands and through famous men, so to speak, which that was in power, pretty much gave them, made it seem like they came alive because they told stories about them. Thor, he protects the thunder. He brings forth the thunder. And you have a god of lightning. So when this god will be fighting with his other gods, or this is why this man of rain comes down. Just like you had that dumbass notion back in the day. What's that fucking dumbass? That shit was stupid as hell. When the sun was out and it was raining, you had that little dumbass notion, or the devil beating up his wife. Like stupid shit like that, man. And through different like fairy tales and little dumb, um, little stories, which was kept as a tradition, which was made laws to worship. Just like for in the Greek Empire, in the first book of Maccabees, to tell you, how who was it? Antiochus made a law that everybody should you know not worship their gods and pretty much worship his, become Hellenized. And that's the thing, when a certain nation, when Greek was in power, they enforced their powers, their ways, their philosophies, their tradition upon the whole world. Just like America, what did they push? So-called Jesus Christ, Cesare Borgia. They promote what is it? The image of the image, the image of the beast. What is it? Revelation 15, I believe, when it talks about the beast. He bring. Let me just get it. Butchering. I think it's Revelation 13:15. Yeah. Revelation 13:15. Because this is what if you don't worship this system, the ways of the creeds and the laws according to the society that we live in now, you'll be put to death. And that was the same thing that was going on in these past. Just like when Nebuchadnezzar, he made that pillar, that gold pillar. He made everybody just worship it, and if you didn't, you'd be put to fucking death. So due to reprimandments, scourges, and torments, these gods were pretty much became alive. Revelation 13:15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as now worship the image of the beast should be killed. So I'm just giving you a notion that, when different nations were in power, they made decrees and laws and statutes to their idols and what they believed in. Just like they mandated, just like in Rome, they mandated temple sex. And Rome was wicked as hell, man. Lord's will, I can there's a video that I watched the other day about Rome, and fucking freak show. But let me go back to what I had. I don't want to make this video long. Yeah, it says but when you see the multitude behind and before adoring them, yeah. So and that's the thing. What the times that we're in, our people are adored with what they hear in the society. You know, every every notion, this word humanism. You know, this thing that they got about with the trannies and everybody's a human. Nobody's um nobody's a gender and so forth. These are all that goes back to that fertility god. You know, with the God of all parts. So they're bringing all this wickedness upon the earth. They bringing they bringing forth these past idols which were erected in before time 2.0. It says, say in your heart, say in your minds that thou art to be adored, O Lord. For my angel is with you, and myself will demand an account of your souls. For their tongue that is polished by the craftsmen and themselves laid over with gold and silver are false things, and they cannot speak. Again, it goes into just saying, they can't protect themselves, they rust, they gotta bring forth they gotta be protected by bars, if an enemy came in, they can't help themselves. Um they make it seem like they make the image of it seem scary. You got a scepter in his hand, but it can't stop nothing. So my point is in this lesson, you have a lot of entities and philosophies out here, and gods and goddesses and so forth out here that our people are just gone. Again, you got this whole thing, the sexual liberation, which is out here, which is, again, these girls talking about something over. I mean, when you look at these women, man, they're gone. 300. Well, you got this thing now. The average men are simple. Men pretty much want three things: what a sandwich, cooperation, and sex. When a woman she wants, it's a never-ending thing. You can never satisfy a woman. Why? Because these women are into these philosophies of these Roman and Greek gods, man. It's this old sexual liberation and no constraint. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because there's some other videos I want to get done. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom.